Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Stone Cold Hockey video to do with the 1983-84 Edmonton Oilers and playing their season. Right now, we are 10-8-1, which is unusually terrible for the Oilers of 1984. We've had a slow start. Calgary and Vancouver have been above us. Winnipeg with 17 points. LA with 9 points. Top four teams in each division make the playoffs, and then every division around the winner the spike for the doors face each other off for the conference title, and Adams and Patrick for the other conference. Chicago leads with 20 points in the North. Toronto, Minnesota, and St. Louis all have 17. Detroit looks bloated. In the Adams division, Boston, Quebec, Buffalo, and Montreal are all within feet of inches of each other, and Hartford's got nothing. Washington, Islanders, Rangers, Philly in the Patrick division. Pittsburgh looks bad and New Jersey looks bad. Of course, this was the Turtle Derby when Pittsburgh and New Jersey purposely tried to lose so that they would get the number one pick and get Mario Lemieux, which Pittsburgh got. New Jersey got Kirk Muller, which was not that bad. Our man Wayne Gretzky has 15 goals, tied for second with Tony Tanti. Who the frig is him? Anyway, Rick Five has 22 for the Leafs. Paul Coffey's tied for 10th with 13 goals, which is pretty good. Points wise, Gretzky leads with 39, Bossy and 5, you with 34. Paul Coffey is 6th, which is pretty good, and Glenn Anderson's 18th. Goals against wise, Al Jansen's been on fire. Tom Brassel, 8-0-1. Without him, the Sabres would be pedestrian. Andy Moog, 7th behind Willie Muelenson, Pat Regan, Pete Peters, and Donnie Edwards. Of course, I know about Willie Muelenson too well because of 1982 doing that thing. So anyway, we have a 55% pointing. We have 19 games. Quebec's the only team that has played 21. There's been a few teams with 18, 19, and 20. Points percentage wise, pretty much the Leafs have played a lot more games than Minnesota and St. Louis, so they should be fourth. Quebec should be like fourth, with Buffalo and Montreal getting up there too. So anyway, we've scored 85 goals. We're behind Vancouver, who scored 88, but they do have one more game than we do. Anyone else above 85? My birth year, 89 for the Cupcakes with in 20 games. Yeah. We've given up 64 goals, which is unusual. We're 4-3 at home, 6-5-1 on the road, so we can't do anything. Washington and Boston and Calgary look good on home. On the road, Detroit's 1-8. LA has yet to win on foreign ice. Hartford's only won once, and New Jersey's only won 2 games but once. Highlights: everyone's won a game. We've had 15 hat tricks. Nobody has had a 4-goal night. We've had 8 games with 30 plus points by the fan vote. Toronto, New Jersey, October 16th, when the Leafs were up 4-2, and then 6-3, and then the Devils scored 3 straight goals, brought in Brumlin for beat, and then Don Lever in overtime. Toronto's 7-6 win over LA when it was a 13-goal slugfest. Toronto scored with 8 seconds left. Philly, Quebec, October 25th, when Philly, they had 11 goals. Philly, was down 4-1. Quebec couldn't finish the job. Froze over Bouchard. Philly, Toronto, November 12th, when the Leafs won. Philly was up 5-3 late. Carrion and Gelago scored late, and then 5 in overtime. So yeah. Our top rated game has been our loss to Montreal at the Montreal Forum, October 29th. We've started this video off November 18th hosting Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo. Fuck you, Buffalo. Bob Sauvé in the net. So no Barrasso. They go with Bob Sauvé. That's a brutal mistake by Buffalo because Barrasso's been unbeaten. We go with our big boy Grant Fuhr in net. Andy Moog, the backup. Our players, Wayne Gretzky, the great one, Glenn Anderson, Yuri Curry, the Finnish Flash before Solani, Paul Coffey, Kitchener. That's right, Paul Coffey, former Kitchener Ranger, Marc Booth Messier, Pat Hughes, Dave Hunter, Willie Lindstrom, Kenny Linsman, the Rat, Dr. Randy Gregg, he was a doctor, Euro Pulsar, Charlie Huddy, Don Jackson, Dave Lumley, Dave Semenko, the Protector, Lee Fogelin Jr., Tom Rolston, Kevin Lowe, who was a pretty good player, Pat Conacher, Rick Chartra, Kitchener, Ken Berry, Raymond Suminen, and Jim Playfair, known for his YouTube video. Sabres have Dave Vanderchuk, great player before he went into the Leafs. Leaping Mike Foligno, he also was former future Leaf. Joe Perreault, the legend who only spent one one team, and that's the Sabres. Very good. Phil Housley, who was a good defenseman before he returned to Winnipeg. Real Cluche, who was a Quebec Nordique icon. Sean McKenna, Gilles Hamel, Paul Cyr, Lindy Ruff, the future head coach of the Sabres. Rick Sealing, Kitchener. John Tucker, Kitchener. I think John Tucker wasn't a Kitchener Ranger. Yes, he was. He was part of the 1984. He was part of the 1982 Memorial Cup winning team, I think. Yeah, he was part of the 82 Memorial Cup. I think he went to 84 when Buffalo returned him to the minors. Mike Ramsey, part of the Miracle on Ice. Craig Ramsey, not related because PSAY. Brad Peterson, Hanno Furta, Jim Weimer, Larry Playfair. I think that's Jim's brother. It is. Mike Mueller, Bill Haight, who spent a lot of time in the 70s with the Sabres. Jerry King Kong Korab, Claude Ferret, Adam Creighton, Steve Patrick, Mark Renault, and David Vendiv. Into the game, aggression, and a fight between Larry Playfair, and Fogelin. That hurts us because we lose it to defense. But the Sabres take a penalty. It's King Kong. And nothing. Rolston. 2 minutes later. They score. Gilles Perreault from Cloutier and Sealing makes it 1-0. Forever Sabre. 3 minutes later. It's the great one from Kusar and Hunter. 3 minutes later. Winston turned the score before the buzzer sounds, but no. 5 minutes later. Contact! 6 from Matthews and Messier. 2 minutes later, action. Chance for Buffalo Skiers. Shiny McKenna does his job from Hamel. McKenna. 2. 6 minutes later. It's Playfair for 2. Advantage. Low fuck. Four minutes later. Ramsey. They kill the phone and we're 2-2 after 2. The origami. Five minutes later, Buffalo Skiers. Buffalo did it. Leapy Mike Foligno from Anderchuk and Ferret. Claude Ferret getting an assist. Aggression. Anderson. Buffalo, no. And then they score on the power play. Sean McKenna from Ramsey and Sealing makes it 4-2. We are losing to Buffalo without Tom Barrasso. Makes it 5-2. Foligno leaps up with Cloutier and Perreault assist. We're dead meat. We've got a penalty. And Housley scores. Rick Sealing. That's his 3rd assist. Like, fuck. These guys are on fire. That's the score. 6-3. I don't care. We're going to Buffalo. Unreal. We suck. This is not how I wanted how this was supposed to work. This was supposed to be Edmonton getting at least 13 wins out of 19 instead of 10. No, 13 out of 20 instead of 10. Buffalo wins. So the next Edmonton game must be simulated, and we won't have far along. The Devils come to town. Much as we like to pound on the Devils, we have to simulate. Moog just lost to Ron Lowe, our former goalie, 5-2. Hughes and Curry scored, but Bridgman, Brumwell, Verbeek, Gagne, Ludwig. Man, I wish I had something to break right now, but I don't. We just lost to the worst fucking team in the NHL. Man, oh man, we suck. When we lose to New Jersey, we have nothing. We got to play Winnipeg, and we lose to them 6-4. Fuhr loses to Mark Berhand. We were down 4-0. Well, Curry, Jackson, Huddy, and Curry scoring for us. My Winnipeg goes by Howardchuk, Lukowitz, Babbage, Dubois, Manfa, and Dubois. How the hell are we second? We're below 500 in November. I don't know what our real life record is. We go to LA and we don't beat LA 3-3. Logan Barron with points. We were up 3-0. Messier, Curry, and Jackson. It was like we're gonna finally end it. But McClellan, Fox, and Simmer scored. And ties are just as bad as when real life we only had 18 losses in real life. So we have to have 48 wins and 7 losses. So we have to average 7 wins for every loss. I am disgusted. I rarely am below 500 in any simulation. And E. We go to Minnesota, ties. But we win in overtime against Minnesota Merlosh. Yuri Curry saves my butt, and Mings. Minnesota was up 3-0. Yay! Radich, yeah. Edmonton. Edmonton will go to St. Louis. Edmonton will go to St. Louis. Good old Edmonton. Edmonton will go to St. Louis. So we have Andy Moe coming in to face Mike Liut, who 3 years prior was the runner-up in the MVP too, when Wayne Gretzky, Rick Hines, and Bunny LaRock. Bunny LaRock was a Blue? I did not know that. Anyway, the Blues have Bernie Fedorko, the eternal 50 assist man, Joey Mullen before he became a Flame and a Penguin, Brian Sutter, part of the Sutter brothers, Jorgen Pedersen, who was a little known player, but he did well. Doug Gilmour, yes, he was a St. Louis Blue before he became a Flame, before he became a Leaf. He who shall not be named is on this team. He's responsible for not only killing Keith Magnuson in a sense, but also killing the Leafs' power in the 80s by being their captain of a shitty team. Perry Turnbull, yep. Wayne Babbage, 50-goal scorer, Wayne Babbage. Guy Chouinard, former Flame. Mark Reeds, Mark Reeds, Pat Hickey, he's still around, wow. Doug Wickenheiser, who they managed to pick up from the Habitants because he disappointed Montreal so badly, being the number 1 pick, and of course they picked him over Dennis Savard, which definitely did not work out. Rick Wilson, Perry Anderson, Jack Carlson, part of the Slapshot gang, Dwight Schoenfield, Alain Lemieux, that's Mario's older brother, Andre Dorer, Tim Bothwell, Terry Johnson, Blake Dunlop, and Jack Brown. My fault. 5 minutes later, we miss. We're Blue Jays to get one away. Let's go, our Roberto, Babington Sutter. Then we have to go 46, 7, and 3, which basically means we have to average 4.6 wins every loss or tie. 3 minutes later. Well, we've rattled them. Can we score on them? No, we got a penalty. Oh, Vogelin. Well, they didn't score. So now 1-0. We're in deep trouble. This is the 1984 Oilers. Going in the blood. Ramage. We score. Papa probably go, Doctor, can you make me a potion? Greg is first from Messier and Gretzky. I need to do a better taunt. Skills. Willie Lindstrom, his 5th from Greg and Coffee, makes it 2-1. 3 minutes later. We score. Brian Sutter. 4 minutes later. We score. Blake Dunlop finally scores from Blake Dunlop. We didn't talk about him. We score. The great one, his 19th from low, makes it 3-3. Then, 4 minutes ago, Doctor, his 2nd from Messier and Curry. It's at 4-3. We got a penalty. It's going to be Rolston. It's all right. Pat Hickey. 4-4 tie. And we got a penalty, Don Jackson. 7 goals in that second period. It's 4-4. I don't know. Henrik Mullins from Sherman and Brian Sutter. Good. We're going to go with you. He's being shelled. We're killing the clock. Oh, we almost had it. Kill the clock, Mike. Scores. Somebody get it low, 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 low. His first from Messier in coffee ties it. They score. Dunlop, his second of the night from Mullen and Ramage. Of all people, Dunlop. 6-5. Uh-oh. Empty net. Empty net. Empty net. And we lose 6-5. Unfrickin' real. We lose to Blake frickin' Dunlop, who scored his first 2 goals of the year. 6-5. This is not the Edmonton Oilers. I know we're going to be probably in the 3 or 4 seed. We probably have to do a Cinderella run. Unreal. All those goals and we lose 6-5. No games on the 27th. The 28th, sees the Rangers beat Vancouver. Because we lost, we got to simulate the next game, remember. And that, wait, was that our second or third? Second. Okay, I've been told by my producer that was our second. The Flyers, we crushed the Flyers 5-1. Pelle Lindbergh was supposed to help them, but he loses to Moog. They only scored Erickson. Linsman, Coffey, Kitchener, Anderson, Poussard, and Jackson with the goals. So we win, so that means we get to simulate the next game. Let's go Rangers. The next game will be played. And it's going to be where? It is going to be Los Angeles, who we tied, but yeah, we win with Los Angeles. We host LA. Andy Moog in the net against Marcus Matson, the backup to Mike Blake. Mike Blake, how is he a main goalie? Marcus Matson, Gary Laskowski, Marco Barron has faltered, and Mario Lessard has fallen off the map for the Kings. Yeah, Marcus Matson, famous for what he did in the 83-84 season, breaking Gretzky's 51-game point streak. I don't think Gretzky has a point streak of that long. Oh, shoot, I forgot to talk about the team. Let's go! Mr. Hughes from Flamenco in the back. I apologize, I forgot to talk about the LA Kings. Charlie Simmer, part of the Triple Crown line with Marcel Dion and Dave Taylor. They're still together. Simmer was traded, I think, the next year to Boston. Bertie Nichols, a great young talent before he went to the Rangers. Marcel Dion, the legend. Jim Fox, great broadcaster for the Kings for many years. Brian McClellan, Dave Taylor, part of the Triple Crown line. He lasted till 1993 and never left LA, unlike his other 2 compatriots. Doug Smith, I believe he was the one who was a famed Ottawa. Oh, that was Brian Smith. My fault. Yeah, Doug Smith. Anders Heckerson, Mike McEwen. I remember him from being part of the 82 Islanders in my playthrough of the 82 Islanders and all that. He's not king. Wes Jarvis. I remember him somehow. Mark Hardy, future Ranger. Ken Houston, Steve Kristoff, Terry Ruskowski, former Blackhawk. John Paul Kelly. Feels like that's the name of an actor. Russ Anderson, Jay Wells from Paris, Ontario, part of the 94 Rangers that won the Cup. Mark Chorney, Kevin LaValle, Brian Engblom, Fred Barrett, Dean Kennedy, and Michael Barrett. Brian Engblom, eh? 4 minutes. Really? You have a chance? And we stop him cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. Got it. 4 minutes later. Anderson. You have a chance? Now. 1 minute later. 2 minutes. Wilson. Shotsky or Jimmy Fox scores from Ruskowski and McClellan 2-1. A few minutes later, nothing. The great one. 20 of it. I'm happy. 3-1. And he's going to learn that Gretzky can burn you in so many ways. 3 minutes later. Chance for 4? Nuts. Coffee had a chance. 2 minutes later. Cutty. Scores from Linsman and Hughes makes it 4-1. Use it, 3 assists, 3 points. 4 minutes later. Taylor, can we take advantage? No, not today. 4 minutes later. We're going to take a penalty. It's Hunter. I'm going to kill the stone on anchor. We're up 4-1. And they're going to go with... Yeah, they're going to go with Mike Blake. They don't like Mike Blake. And they score. Hawkinson, his 7 from Nichols. 3 minutes later. Good. Hold on. Mr. Anderson. Anderson. His 11 from Linsman and Gretzky. Much later. He's rattled. Get him. Nuts. Okay, we're okay. We're okay. It's all good. 5-2. We win. Whoosh. Well, Mountain learned that Gretzky can't be stopped. Pat Hughes with a pair of goals, including... Oh, no, he didn't get the game winner. Gretzky did. Oh, well. Better effort, guys, this time from me playing. We host the Cupcakes in a 1984 precursor, maybe? We're still second place in the division, even though we're only one game above 500. Winnipeg's middling. Vancouver has slumped. LA is not doing so well. Calgary's still up by 2. So somehow, in some way, we're almost first place in our division. Chicago, Minnesota, and St. Louis all have 26 points. Toronto, Detroit trailing. In the Adams, you have Boston, Quebec, Buffalo, Montreal jostling for position, and Hartford getting nothing. Washington leads the Rangers, Philly, Islanders, and the Patrick. Pittsburgh and New Jersey are faltering. With 525 goals, he leads the pack. Gretzky's behind Pierre LaRouche and Mike Garner. Garner goes score LaRouche, trying to get his career back. Harry Curry and Paul Coffey, each with 15 goals. They're tied for 17th. And all that. Points-wise, Gretzky with 56. He leads Goulet and Bossy. Coffey's 4th. That's pretty good. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky looking good up at 14. Also a good player. Gary Curry's 25th in points. Goes against Moog's 8th still. Al Jansen's been flawless. 7-1-2, a 176 goals against. Willie Muehlensson 2nd, and Tom Barrasso 3rd in goals against. So yeah, Pat Riggin. See some very crappy goalies. Marco Barons 0-7-3 with a 4.78 goals against. Ron Lowe's won 3 of the 4 Devil games. Yeah, Chico's 1-10-2, but he has better goals against than Greg Stephan, who's won 6 games. Well, Edmonton, we're chasing. At least we're in decent position. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.